How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. Today we're going to be talking about a movie I have been looking forward to for the last couple months, but yeah, not much to say there. We're talking about the latest movie from Leigh Whannell and also kind of like a new part of the new Universal Monsterverse, and that is Wolfman, starring Christopher Abbott, Julia Garner, a couple other actors I'm not really familiar with, so definitely kind of more not under the radar, but it's definitely, I feel like the marketing isn't as good, and then the cast isn't as well known. I say, so I don't know what word I would describe. Not indie film, but anyways.
It's a kind of like on that borderline, it feels like.
Yeah, just because how the movie felt and how kind of short it was, that's how it felt like. It definitely felt like an indie film in a way. But
And it's a Blumhouse movie, which their budgets are basically around that indie level, just a little bit above, but yeah, like barely, like over like 20 million around there.
Oh, really? Dang, I didn't think about that, to be honest. I thought because I figured Blumhouse is pretty like big now, so I didn't know what the budget was like. But okay, thank you for that, Burn. This is a non-spoiler review, so we're just gonna give our genuine thoughts as always. So if you do like the video or maybe like the movie, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Ring the bell to stay up to date for notifications when we drop them, and of course subscribe just to, add to our, just become part of the group. That's always nice to have you guys. So thank you. Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar, maybe aren't really into horror or monster movies, The Wolfman is kind of the last of the big three behind Dracula and Frankenstein, where both of those movies came out in 1931, starring Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, and then the Wolfman was the last of that to come out in 1941, starring Lon Chaney. And can't really think of anybody else. Because Lon Chaney was a Wolfman. That's my boy right there. Mm-hmm. So there have been numerous kind of remakes, iterations, whether it be American Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in Paris, The Wolfman starring Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins in 2005. And this is kind of the most recent one. And yeah, so Christopher Abbott plays the father, Blake, who takes his family up to Oregon from San Francisco, which is where The Invisible Man was taking place as well. So Leigh Whannell directed the last Invisible Man right before COVID hit, which is, again, easily one of the best remakes, if not like thriller movies of that time. And just in recent years in general. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they go up to Oregon, where his father was kind of a doomsday prepper. He's been declared dead because he's been missing. And that's when, being out in the middle of nowhere, they run into a werewolf, and the story pretty much goes on from there. So not only becomes a fight for survival, but a fight of infection, I guess. Basically survival. So Christopher Abbott, the only other movie I've really seen him in was Kraven the Hunter, which was god-awful. So I was hoping this one was going to be good because I heard some good buzz within the last week. Like, oh my God, this is great. There's got so much family dynamic and stuff like that. And I liked it, but it's definitely nowhere near I had my hopes up, because I think just rewatching The Invisible Man and actually rewatching the original Wolfman on Peacock, which is still on there, so if you guys want to check that out, check it out. And yeah, this was just kind of all over the place, and I did not care for how short this movie was. Like, at least the story. Like, hour and a half, almost 2 hours, that's fine. But the story literally took... Well, I probably shouldn't spoil. I shouldn't say anything more, but I just feel like the story was just way too short, and they just dropped the ball on a lot of like plot points, So yeah, I don't know, Bern. I'm kind of stuck with my frustration with it. What did you think about this movie?
I mean, coming into this one, I was very excited, like you, because I'm a fan of the director, Leigh Whannell, in his last few movies that he's done. I thought. What he did with The Invisible Man was really great and creative, and a really cool reimagining of what that type of horror story would be, and the way they visualized it and did all that was really, really cool. And I really loved Upgrade as well. So yeah, coming into this one, I was really looking forward to seeing what type of new spin he had on this like Wolfman, genre almost. And yeah, I think this is a mixed bag. Unfortunately, there is a lot of really cool ideas present here, in terms of like the body horror aspect of it. What they do with a lot of the cinematography and the visuals when it comes to sort of getting in the headspace of this sort of new look at the Wolfman type thing. But other than that, it seemed like for me everything else kind of just fell flat. I felt like the script for this one was felt like a little bit of a first draft almost. Like there was a lot of subtext there that felt like it was missing or wasn't explored as enough as it should have been to make the themes of this movie land. Because it does touch on some heavy topics. I know the Invisible Man definitely did, and they try to do it here too, with touching on broader issues outside of just surviving a monster attack. But it felt like with the way that they set up the characters and the way that the plot progressed, they didn't really sort of deliver on those aspects of it. So that was a little bit frustrating. And I agree with you that the length is probably part of the problem there because it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. And it feels like we're just sort of rushing through parts of this movie and not really giving it time to breathe. So, yeah, I'm walking away from it. While I did enjoy a lot of the aspects of it, it felt like the whole wasn't as good as the sum of its parts for me.
Yeah, I love the body horror part of it. I think that was probably the most innovative version of the Wolfman we've seen. I mean, other werewolf movies do that as well, at least with the transformation part. This one had some good fun with the creation and of the monster and stuff like that. But yeah, everything else just fell flat. I do agree. I agree with you 100%, and that was the most disappointing thing because Invisible Man set that bar for me too. Just because with Leigh Whannell and how he was able to blend not only the thriller, borderline horror aspect of it, but also put in some really good, I guess, subtext regarding like personal trauma and stuff like that. With that one, this one didn't really touch upon it as well. So yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily the studio telling him to do that, like telling him to shorten it when they were in the editing process, or if maybe Leigh Whannell just maybe wasn't into it. I don't know. I don't want to think about it that way, and I'm not a writer or director, so I can't speak to that. But it felt like we were missing a good chunk of story here that could have made this movie really good and actually a really welcomed part of that. I'm still looking forward to whatever Leigh Whannell will do next, especially in the MonsterVerse because even though this one was kind of a low bar, I still do like it better than the 2005 version with Benicio del Toro. But with all that being said, I'm still gonna give this one a 2 out of 5 just because for a movie with the caliber of director and a really good ideas that just didn't execute well, that's why it's. Do I recommend it? $5 Tuesday or maybe even a rental. To be honest, I don't know if it's worth it for the theater experience. I did go see it in IMAX, which was fun, but other than that, it was just okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it falls into that sort of disappointing January release because I believe The Invisible Man was also a very early release, if not January or February around there. I'm not sure exactly around the time, but I remember thinking that one wasn't going to deliver, but then. I mean, it really, really impressed me. So it's unfortunate that this one sort of like fills in that role because, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, the creative team involved here. I thought Christopher Abbott, Julie Garner, and Matilda Firth, who plays the daughter in this. I thought they all had a really interesting dynamic, and they all played off each other well. The acting across the board was pretty solid, and I think it's just unfortunate that the script is the thing that sort of lets this down because on terms of the technical aspect, in terms of the performances, it's all there. It's just unfortunate that these things don't come together when it comes to the story and the themes of it, which is unfortunate because I feel like they really nailed all those aspects the last time around. So I'm not sure what happened here when it comes to the execution, but it is a bit of a letdown for me, and it's also going to be a 2 out of 5 for me. I guess if you're just looking for a horror movie to watch it, I guess you can go check it out. Like Rye said, on a discount or something, but this isn't one that I'm going to be like telling people to go out and see like I was with Upgrade or like I was with The Invisible Man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Invisible Man, I was like, "Oh my god, you have to go see that. That was amazing." This one, yeah, it was just okay. It's not completely awful, but again, it's not worth paying full price at the movies for it. And there are definitely some better movies out there. Like if I had to see this or Nosferatu again, I'm definitely gonna see Nosferatu over this one, even though that one it was super late when I saw it. So I still want to rewatch it. But anyways, for those of you who did happen to catch it this last holiday weekend, please let us know what you thought about it in the comments. Until next time, everyone, we're almost out of January. Going to go into February where some shows and stuff are going to kick off again, like Invincible Season 3 is coming next month. So until next time, everyone, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.